Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Today's webinar will be about making original characters in Clip Studio Paint and will be presented by Giuseppe Dell'Olio. Before we continue, I will share some housekeeping items. The webinar will be approximately 1 hour long. All attendees will be muted. There will be a Q&A session during the last 15 minutes of the webinar. Please send your questions, comments, messages using the question panel. Also, due to time constraint, unfortunately, not all the questions will be answered. And this webinar will be recorded, and you can watch the recording in our YouTube channel. And also, there will be an email to all registrants and attendees. The panelists for this webinar are Maria Quiñones, myself, and Giuseppe Dell'Olio. For those of you who connect with us for the very first time or have never heard about Clip Studio Paint, Clip Studio Paint is your all-in-one solution for stunning, ready-to-publish illustrations, comics, manga, and animations. Learn more at clipstudio.net/n and graphicsly.com. Also, if you want to share Instagram stories tagging us as #webinar, Giuseppe Dell'Olio, Graphicsly, at Wacom, and at Clip Studio Official, we'll be sharing your stories. Giuseppe Dell'Olio works in the animation industry as storyboard artist and character designer since 2016. He took part of Netflix and Disney Plus original production working with studios as Triggerfish Animation and Studio Meala. Among the projects, Kisase Moto Generation Fire has been nominated at the Annie Awards as Best Character Animation. On this project, he did both roles of story and designer. So with that, I will leave you with Giuseppe and his presentation, Making Original Characters in Clip Studio Paint. Thank you so much.
Hello, hi everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mario. I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes,
so again,
all work.
Hi, amazing. Thank you. So hi everybody. I'm Giuseppe. I'm a professional storyboard artist and character design, and today we're going to discuss how to create an original character. So I try to prepare some slides to make it look a bit more fancier. So just starting from the concept base of the lesson today is like how to create an original character. So I was thinking about this, and basically I was like Googling a bit, and I found out, okay, what Google says about original, and it says created personally by a particular artist, writer, musician, etc., not a copy, which is pretty important, pretty cool. So this brings us to the personal style. I do believe most of the, like the vast majority of young artists are obsessed. I myself obsessed with, like the idea of personal style. Especially when we are pretty young, we try to do our own personal style artworks, and we basically try to force to become original in some way. So again, I just Google it because I was curious about this, and basically this is what I found out. So personal style. Your personal art style refers to the unique and distinctive way in which you express yourself through your work. It is the result of your personal preferences, experiences, influences, and creative decisions. So okay, I was like thinking about this again, and I was trying to translate it with just a bit more words and thinking. So I was thinking about I just gonna put it like this. So it's like all of these, like plus equal personal style. So let's watch them together. Like personal preferences. So basically, I think is what we like to see or what we like to draw, what we enjoy seeing, what we enjoy drawing. Experiences, to me, that means basically, whole personal matters like memories, meaningful stuff for us, like any personal related experience, as it says, pretty explanatory. But like people we met, stuff we have done in the past, or anything, basically anything. Then we have like influences. Again, I will put it simply as artist or anything we may like. And creative decisions. So I put it like in this way. Basically, you can do in any way you want. You can roll a dice. I try that sometimes to generate like decisions. You can do like the opposite of what you have like some elements, and you see some references, and you just go on the other direction. Like, oh, I want to refer to this character that is blonde. I will make his hair dark. That's just an example. So basically, creative decision, it's up to you. The best thing, probably I should have write this down, is like the stuff you want to achieve is to be conscious about your decisions. That could be important actually, but that's up to you. So all of these elements combined together, they give you what I will call personal style. So moving from this, I was thinking, okay, experiences, of course, it's up to you, because it's like it's your life, the people you met, the stuff you have done, the place you have visited, the movie you have watched, the books you have read, all the personal stuff you have been doing ever. The creative decisions, again, it's up to you. So it's something you will have to choose the way you want to do that actually. What we can what you can work on more like consciously is like the personal preferences and influences. So how do we work on this basically? And there are different approach and ways and stuff. I'm just gonna focus on this particular one, which is basically copying. Again, I remember we saw at the beginning like what Google said about the concept of originality, which meant like to not be a copy. But this is a different thing. I'm saying that like basically this is like collecting materials. This is like collecting elements. So just reading what I wrote here. So it's like, okay, copying is a super top secret. So can copying from others help us become original? And for me, the answer is yes. Copying anything we like. An important thing is to, when we do this kind of exercise of practice, it's important to try to reproduce master's artworks, or like any author we like, in the best way we can. So I'm not speaking about fan art. I'm not speaking about, again, like translating somebody else's character or somebody else's artwork that we like into our own personal style. What I'm saying here is like to try to be, to try to reproduce as closest as possible the same basically lines, the same proportion, the same elements, anything from that author or that image that we are choosing, because we like that actually. So why doing this? Because it will increase the cool elements we will be able to draw, such as face feature, hairstyle, dress, expressions, cool poses, you name it. It's anything cool you see in other people drawings, in masters drawings. You can copying, trying to memorize those elements, memorize those lines, those volumes, whatever, and you can take those elements into your drawings in the future. We are not talking about plagiarizing. We are talking about like memorizing stuff that can get more useful, and you can combine and you can change and everything. But just to make more sure that this is not misunderstood actually. Sorry guys, forgive my English is not the very best. So I was reading this book now it's like a couple of years ago, and this book is an interesting book about manga, how to create manga. It's brought from the Shonen Jump editorial guys, and there's basically this page here that talk about, it touched this topic actually, and it says, let's read it together. It's like, I'm worried that people will say I'm plagiarizing manga stories that already exist. So this is about the stories, but the editor, like the guy here, the editor answer, it says, okay, first of all, which aspect in the possibly problematic one? And it says the art, the word, character designs, personalities, the dialogue. So character design as well could become one of the problem that somebody can basically indicate to you as a, you are copying, you're plagiarizing, and blah, blah, blah. So what the editor says about this, he says, he make examples, he make like, he give him, solutions. So he says, if it's the heart, then try borrowing gag faces from one series, but the coloring style from another. If it's the word, then change up either the time period or the physical location. If it's the characters, resemble pre-existing characters in gender, strength, shortcomings, appearance, etc. Then add your own spin, remove other elements, or change up their age or gender. It is the the dialogue. We don't care about the dialogue now, but this was like what I was concerned about, what I was focusing about. So this one is particularly interesting because it says if it's, if there is this problem with character design because they resemble somebody that we like, actually, we can mix elements, we can change elements, we can do the opposite stuff and blah, blah, blah. Like if the character we are trying to reference from is a male, we can turn it in a female and stuff like those. It will make more, and the final that I forgot to read. So it says, you are most likely concerned about accusations of plagiarism because you are drawing from too few influences. Diversify your sources of inspiration to lend your own work more originality. So what does it mean? It means basically that the more stuff you fuse, the more stuff you watch, the more stuff you copy, the more stuff you refer to, the less easy will be to recognize those elements. And we are not we are in a era here where basically like computer can, with stealing from everybody image on the internet, can create like beautiful artworks in in a matter of seconds. We are talking here about taking consciously what you need to do the characters you want to create. So that's, I think it's a totally different thing. So it's not like plagiarizing, it's not about stealing, it's about like collecting stuff, learning more, memorizing stuff that can be useful in the future. So just to give you some more example, I want to show you some personal stuff. So this drawing here was a drawing made I remember like I was in the airport and I was like watching people and I saw this couple and they look really interesting and I was like, oh, I'm gonna make character design from them, and I made like watching a bit of them, using my memories, elements, my drawing skills at the time, and again the elements I knew about, like how to draw like trousers, how to draw anatomy, how to draw shoes and stuff like those. So if you don't put attention, if you don't focus to the side sketches, you just focus on the two characters. So this is before copying, before you're doing any of those practice and exercises. And then basically I start again doing a bit of copying, and again copying what you like, what inspires you, what makes you happy. It's like even this practice, I was reading a Japanese book, like from a Japanese teacher, that basically when we copy something that we like, we automatically gonna make one cool drawing because we are copying something we love, something we like. So the copy of it, even if it's not like exactly the same, like if you see these drawings, they are not perfect, they are like, there are some slightly her mistakes in proportion. Some lines are not perfect, like the Yugi shoulder, the right one is shorter than the left one, and I'm sure that it wasn't like that in the original. But the point is that, again, I can watch to this drawing, I can feel happy about myself because I've been doing like a drawing of something that was originally cool. So the copy is less cool, but still cool enough to make me feel good, to make me feel better, to get like a better autoesteem and self-esteem, sorry, and just want to do more of this. And I did like this, and I did a bit of this. Like, even if you see this character here, so this was like for a personal project that basically I even know, I didn't care to be, completely, how do you say, like in this case, I wasn't working for any company, so I didn't need to make the characters as far as possible from the original sources. Nobody can sue me for this, because it was like just a personal stuff for fun. So if you see this character that I enjoy a lot drawing, at that time I was like drawing Yugi, and I was drawing a lot of Dragon Ball Z characters. So basically, this is just Jirobai, the samurai dude, with the Yugi hairstyle and the dark magician, some dark magician / Dragon Quest dress, and that's it. Simple, but like the references are too few. It's super quick and easy to recognize them among in the drawing. But again, like drawings, faces, drawing, references, stuff you see in books, in comic, in whatever. When I was like a kid, we used to stop the TV to copy from the TV screen. So now with the internet and amazing, a lot of amazing books, you can do whatever. Again, a lot of Dragon Ball Z, a lot of Toriyama, some Oda. That's my main references and stuff. So this is what I got after copying. And again, these two new characters that are based on the previous one, the old one, are again ones made by memory. I haven't seen any references at all while I was doing this. It was just, a combined fusion of how I drew I copied like the art style from that character, from that author, and I combined with that, and I learned how to make that kind of shape, and I could learn how to make that kind of, muscle, and like beard or whatever, like the clothes and stuff like those. So just to make you a real example of this, actually. So here, that's something interesting, because these are some, well-known references, like from the original to the, not copy, but like from the, another original artwork that became then very, very popular, of course, but that we can see some resemblance here. We can see some elements like Ken Sugimori, Pokemon art director, was, as many of us, was like really into Akira Toriyama way of drawings. So he quoted in several, in several ways. I can take a look to my Charizard figurine, like toy figurine on my desk right now, and I can tell you that the eyes of Charizard are perfectly, triangle Dragon Ball Z shape eyes. So again, when we think about like copying stuff from artists we like, and we can collect those elements to utilize those elements in our original drawing. Again, like you can think about like eyes, noses, mouth shapes, anything you are thinking about, you can collecting them from the people you really like. So again, here we have like a Freezer and a Mewtwo. You can see like the palette, it's pretty similar. The elements, the round shape of on the belly, even the tail. It's really interesting about this. And then of course, you have to change stuff. You can see that like one of the nice things is like you can see, Freezer has 3 foot fingers. Mewtwo does as the same, exactly the same. It's pretty cool. Again, let's see with more authors. let's see here. It's like Togashi, you didn't make a mystery of this, that basically his Leorio character was a quote, was an homage to Lupin III from Monkey Punch. So again, we have similar characters, you know, we can see the references, but we have totally different characters. So you know, you don't immediately think about Lupin III when you see Leorio. Moving forward, I just found out these, and it was pretty interesting because again, we have like One Piece characters. We have anime here, characters from One Piece, the anime, on the left, and you know, like there, you know, some part of the references. Of course, they are not only the, you know, Oda didn't use just these references on the right. Otherwise, they would have probably have been kind of identical. These are like, you know, mixed up, but we can recognize some elements. We can recognize the white beard, the mustache reminds of these Gundam elements. We can recognize like the dress, even like the a bit of the shape of the hair, or like the color of the dress from Hoden and Goku. And of course, you know, the muscular speaks by itself, the muscular Master Roshi. So again, this is, for me, it's pretty fascinating, it's pretty cool. I want to show you one more thing. So this character, of course, one is Luffy from One Piece, and the other one is called Kaibutsu-kun. Kaibutsu-kun was it's a manga character from the 60s, actually. I remember I watched it when I was a kid. It was one of the first anime I ever watched, so I think it was pretty popular in Japan back in the days. So what you can see from this is that Kaibutsu-kun was like the prince of monster, and he basically can stretch his arms and his legs. Remind me of Luffy again. Another interesting thing is the gear 4 technique that Luffy used in One Piece, which is basically makes you know, his fists bigger, and they get like black because they get like iron, like steel power, you know, like that kind of it changed into materials, so it's like it's way stronger and blah 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 blah. What I found pretty interesting was like that this was done here, you know, ages before from the author of Kaibutsu-kun. You can see this is in Italian, but basically here he says Iron Fist, and he makes like, you know, the fist just larger, and he gets black because he's, you know, he has to make look like he's a steel, he's a iron, he's a heavy material, and everything. So look at this, or like look at this. It's like just him fighting with, you know, like gigantic iron fists that, you know, get longer arms, and to me this is just beautiful, just beautiful. So now back to what I have done. Okay, so these are like I have basically collecting some of the characters I've been working for the past few years, and just showing you how they develop with basically the adding of informations and of references. So we have like this first pass, which was like done traditionally, blah blah blah. Then I basically mix some stuff. I try to put more elements, like for example, I like to I focus like in adding this cloud that reminds me of, you know, Dragon Ball and blah blah blah. But like I enjoy way more the final pass, where I try to quote like the Chinese traditional I think it's a kind of a not mythological, but like folkloristic creature. It's like a lot of stuff actually. So I try to mix this with, like Majoko girls, elements from like the health, like even the hairstyle. I basically emulate like Dungeon Meshi elf character and stuff like those. I try to mix stuff that I like the scars from One Piece or any funny shonen stuff, put all together to these new characters that I like more than the previous versions actually. Same here, basically character that develop into the years. Again, this can change, of course, because you can get also better. Like in myself, I get like better in anatomy. I try different style. I try to move from a more cartoonish style to a more like well proportioned and like more anatomical, volumetric kind of style that will allow me to add more details actually to the character design. But again, even here, I try to mix more elements from characters that I like, and I just try to shuffle them all together to kind of put stuff well hidden in the sun. Again, this one as well, as you can see, like the first pass and the second pass are pretty similar. It just there is like you can feel just a change, like an improvement, like a technical improvement, because I got better in drawing actually. But like the final one, there was like more thinking about, and there was like more references. Again, like the whole final, the whole joke about this character is that is again getting back to what makes you personal style and blah blah. Like these old characters is a kind of a joke to a TV show that Italian people used to watch when we were kids. There was like about this bird living in this huge blue tree. Actually, I don't know if it probably was like a program that go around the world. I don't know, but like in Italian, we got this. So it was kind of important when we were kid, and I was like, oh, I want to quote that. I'm doing like a tree character, and I want to quote that tree because it meant something for me when I was a kid. And that's again, like that's an element that you can just add more to into the pot. And again, this is another example. So this was my first pass. I want to make like this, like beef tamer and her big rabbit mount. And I basically, try to copy some reference. I was like, okay, what makes me, think about mount, like, monsters or like creatures that stay on four paws, on four legs, and like some bunnies, and like, this kind of references. Anything that came in my mind related to bunnies or like, from Final Fantasy 12, anything that came to my mind when I thought about, bunny and somebody that can ride on a bunny. Beside that, the dude on the corner that was just like not really related to that, but don't mind to it. And basically, this is the result. I mean, it's not the best drawing ever made. It's not even it's just a rough. It's not even polished and everything. But you can see like there is like more details. Like you can see that the paw are different. You can see there is like an idea of a tail. You can see there is like an hairstyle, way better hairstyle. Hair, like the characters of the girl is different, is more complex, and of course there is a bit of more understanding of anatomy and everything. But there is also more elements that I borrow and I fuse and I shuffle from all the stuff that I like. So just those kind of stuff can help you make your original characters. Which brings me to the last one I want to show you tonight, of this morning, sorry, which is this one. So this one was like a character that when I create this character, I basically use few references. Now, if you are a huge fan of Hunter x Hunter like me, you will recognize this character in few seconds, basically. And as many people told me on the Instagram, this looks like just a fatter version of Leorio. It makes sense because like when I was thinking about this, it was like a gag character that was basically like this, big fighter striking a huge hit that was so powerful that basically he fall asleep the moment after hitting. And the only reference I was using for this, besides the giant hammer, was like this. Basically, I use just big weapon, cool guy like Claude Strife or Gatsu from Berserker, and then I use of course Leorio, and then of course I use Snorlax, which is one of my favorite Pokemon. So even the idea of having him getting to sleep after hitting was like most related to Snorlax. So Snorlax bring in the shape, the core shape of the character, and even that nice funny gag. And the results was like this, like the second pass. So basically a drawing that is like a character that is kind of original, but is not that original actually, because it's like the references are way too easy to spot. So I need to to change. I need to do more thinking about this. So important stuff. How can I do like how can I work on this? Like how can I think more about this? I prepared something simple actually, which is this one. So basically, you have to think about your character. The more you think about your character, the better it will be. And basically, in this case, so ask yourself questions like, who is your character? What is their role in the story? Are they good, bad guys? The gender, the age, the race, whatever. If they're animal, robot, anything. What they do for living, if they have a job, and blah blah blah. Do they have like any hobbies? Can we tell any of their preferences from the dress code or any sort of more elements? What's their attitude and blah 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 blah. So the point is that the more questions you ask about your characters, the more you can basically you can the better actually you can you can visualize your character. You can start to visualize his past. You can start to visualize, like reasons behind why he's dressed in that particular way, or why he's using that particular weapon, or why he's, anything you may like, you may want to add to your characters. And all of this actually will make, your character more unique and more original. So these are some of the questions that I try to answer in a super easy, quick way actually. So it's like, okay, it's an ally guy, it's a good guy, but it's a rival. So he has like a bully attitude. Is a male. And again, I want to quote Leorio because Leorio was one of my main reference. So if you are a fan of Hunter x Hunter like me, you know that Leorio is a joke because he basically is 19 years old that looks super old. So nobody believes him when he says that it's a young guy. So I was like, okay, what's his age? I want to go for the opposite of Leorio. I want to go for an elder guy that looks young. How can I achieve that? I don't know. I'm a bit anxious about that, but we'll see. So again, human guy. So what's his job actually? So okay, I was like, okay, he's a I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, he's a chef, and the hammer can be a big meat hammer because you want to find the best burger meat ever. Want to try to find that. And he does any hobbies, and I was like, okay, yes, he loves video games. And that's it actually, and that's it. So what I'm gonna be doing now for the rest half an hour is to try to put in use all these informations and the materials I've been collecting for trying to create a new character design, a new pass on this. So as you can see, I prepared some references for the chef, actually for the chef side. I prepare references for the weapons that I'm gonna go drawing, and I prepare myself some references to see how we can manage to do an old dude that looks young. So what I'm going to be doing now is basically close everything else and just put all my reference in some way beside me. Okay. No, too small. Okay. Okay, I think I can leave the hammer here for now and the age now. Okay. So I'm gonna be trying to start this. It will be just a sketch actually. I don't think I can do anything fancy or polished. It will be just a quick sketch. But again, just to show you a bit of the thinking process behind all of this actually. Okay, I can draw. So I have some chefs here. Okay, perfect. So if you think of the character I got, actually, maybe it's better to have it just as a reminder. So this was the character we got. And I want to make it more unique and more original and everything. So the main idea was like, okay, I'm gonna use Snorlax shape. One thing I noticed after a while, I mean, there are a lot of knowledge to master for appealing character design. We are not discussing about all the knowledge you can seek, want to know. But like one of the stuff is like to create contrast. And what I noticed looking at the old characters here is that it wasn't that there was like a big contrast between the hammer and the guy. If you see about this, you will see basically that the hammer is like this huge and the guy is like this huge. So it's like it doesn't look like it's bringing some. I mean, the hammer looks huge, but it doesn't look like he's putting any effort to do that. So it's not cool enough for me. And again, like looking to the references, since we changed the, some elements here, and we went to, okay, we're gonna put like we're gonna draw an old dude that looks like a kid. What we can see from this is like that all the references I've been collecting from Pinterest show me that basically the old dudes on the internet, I mean, the old dudes, pretty cool grandpas, they're pretty small. And even the kids, of course, they're super small. So this can probably be perfect for us, because the cool thing could be to have like a small character. I mean, like imagine like the huge hammer. A super huge hammer and a small characters. Now, like at some point, like doing so, the hammer will, really, 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 look more, looks massive. And the small characters, you immediately, you will see and will think about, oh, that small dude can hold that huge hammer. If you look at this, you will probably think, okay, it's not a big deal for him. It's a big guy, he can do that. But if you see a small dude like this, we won't, think about that's possible, which is, I think, is pretty cool. So I'm gonna put my whole dudes here, and I'm gonna put my hammers here. Just gonna start making a bit. And I'm gonna basically try to see my references here and see what I do like from these guys. Like, for example, one element that I can, take from all of these whole dudes is that they are basically, bold people actually. And what I can see from, like small kids, it is like that, especially from this, kid Tai from Digimon, I can see that their head is way, bigger than like when they, this is a common knowledge, I know, but like, thinking about this is like, okay, I see whole dudes, big head, small bodies, Same for the kids. So I can try to imitate that actually. Okay, of course, I wanna like, okay, so this is a big hammer. And it's like, okay, it will look like an old dude. I mean, we look like a young fella, but he's actually old. So how do I make it, look like young and old at the same time? So I was like thinking maybe I can borrow these elements here. Like, I can make, some hairstyle that says, oh, he has more hair in the past, but he lost it somehow. So it's like, okay, I can see that he has like some hair here, and he has like some hair here maybe. I can use like, I can quote a bit even, like from Snorlax. So maybe he has like closed eyes, like Snorlax. I can put, other elements. I was thinking this, let's see if it works. So I was thinking like, okay, the big hammer, the big meat hammer can recall somehow a controller from the PlayStation. So it could be just a nice element, to remind us that he likes that actually. I don't know if there are any questions so far, but I think in case there are, I can start, speaking or answer them in case there are any question about it.
Yes, there's a lot of questions. Thank you so much, Giuseppe.
No
There's
problem.
people from all over the world watching us live, so we want to say thanks to, for example, Ivan from Illinois. Who else? Piracicaba, Brazil, Stephanie, Texas, Armand, California, Pasadena, Irene, Netherlands, Mariska, Greece, Antonis, else? Cologne, Germany, Alexander and Christina from Germany, France, Will, Mexico, who else? Pamela, Italy also, Ricardo, Spain, Rocio, Portugal, Joao, what else? Chile, Ham, Argentina, who else from Argentina? Nadia and Nerina also. Thank all of you. South Africa also here, Aleta. Thank all of you who have been watching us live. And so let's start with one question here. I really like this one from Marija. What is your everyday routine in terms of drawing in your creative processes?
So it depends on what actually, this is a nice question, but it depends really about what I have to do in the day. Because usually my day is made of 8 hours. I do have a full-time job, and what I have to do, it depends of the task of the day actually. Let's say that when I do have free times to do my personal stuff, I would love to do some warm up, but sometimes I don't have time to do that before starting. So mostly will be just opening Pinterest and take a look what Pinterest now knows me pretty well. So it just flashed me Dragon Quest and crazy anime and manga reference stuff. So I was like, oh, look at this and that. And of course I do have I'm trying to write stuff, so I more conscious about, oh, this is cool, but this is not what I need. So again, about routine, I will say basically sometimes I try to do a bit of gesture drawing, like 20 minutes gesture drawing before jump into whatever I really want to do. But that's just, if I have the time to do that actually. Otherwise, I just go straight ahead to what you want to do. And sometimes I just make like a list of stuff I want to do just to like writing. Actually, writing down stuff, it's a pretty interesting way to self-regulate yourself and like getting stuff done, if it makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm. And here's another question from Rachel. What is the hardest part about creating an original character?
I think it's the writing part. Like drawing part, it's easy. After a while that you draw, drawing gets easier and easier and easier. Thinking about characters is the tough stuff actually. I remember I read a book from Hirohiko Araki. No, sorry, no, Araki. The author from Bizarre Adventure, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and basically was saying that to make a new character, you always feel like a huge list of questions. So we are talking about massive stuff. It's like D&D characters actually. You want to create like the background of your characters. You want to think about all of those details. The guy was like crazy. He was like even trying to figure it out, their birthday, their zodiacal sign, their blood type, to have to add more elements to their personalities, just to make sure that they were like original. Because it was like when you create characters, you create the first one, great. You create the second one, amazing. The third, the fourth, and the fifth, all good, still good. But like at the moment you start creating like the sixth or whatever, it's like, okay, this is kind of a repetition. There are some elements you already put yourself together. So it's like, how can I, make again an original mixture? How can I make, this, stand up and looks like, oh, it's completely new, it's completely original. And you make that just answering all those questions, just answering all the different, what's like, oh, what does he have trauma? What happened when he was a kid? What's his favorite food? What does he hate? It's just huge. If you look on Google about that, you can find his JPEG for that actually. And it's pretty cool because you can follow that, or you can make your own character sheet actually. And it's pretty important because he helps quite a lot. With the moment, like the tree character I show you before, this dude here, the moment I start to answer his questions and figure it out, what he was doing for living and all the stuff, I was like, oh, this is nice, this is cool. This will make much more sense than it was before, because before it was like, okay, just designing. It was like, oh, this is a cool trousers, this is a cool shoes. That no, what he does for living. Oh, it's a salaryman. What the salaryman wears, this kind of shoes, this kind of dress code and whatever. So that's really for me, it's how what's the trickiest and how to solve the trickiest part actually.
And here's another question. What's your favorite Clip Studio Paint feature or tool that you use regularly?
Actually, I'm not sure about that because I never been as one of those people that know how to use a program 100%. So it's like lately I've been doing some manga pages, and it was pretty cool using the 3D elements actually, because you can import 3D models that are like some by default in Clip Studio Paint. Like I needed to do a classroom, like a Japanese classroom, and it was into the preset actually. So I just put that in, move it around, and basically ink on top of that, which was pretty cool. So I probably will say that. I saw like people use it as well for mannequin. I don't do that with mannequin, but I know people find it very handy. Okay, that's right.
And here's a question from Tristan. How much do you consider shape language in your designs?
Okay, this is an interesting question. Shape language, I think it's very, very important actually, because basically is what will make characters distinguishable from very, very far away. So that's important to have like a variety in shape language. And of course, there are like some rules, some well-known rules about what like more muscular or like more heavy characters like triangular shape versus round versus all those stuff. So my answer to that is yes. I try to focus and put attention to that because it's like actually I do enjoy a nice and a lot of variety in shape. We make way more for me. We make more appealing actually than not using than like just drawing whole same size regular character. So yes, absolutely, is a tool that we want to use to master and to use.
And another question was about when do you know a character is fully finished?
As you can see from the question mark here, I don't know. It's probably when you're like really on a deadline and probably you need to, because like until your character is for yourself and you're working on personal project and nobody's putting pressure on you, and there is no really such a thing as a deadline or anything of that, you can still change everything. The moment stuff gets more serious, I do believe that's the moment you really say, okay, now it's done, now it's like that, I cannot change it anymore. I really believe it's that mostly.
And here's a question from Daniela. Hi, I want to ask Giuseppe, how do you know if a character idea is good and when you should discard it? Thanks.
Okay, this is tricky. How do we do that it's good? I think we don't. I mean, I think we don't really know. It depends what you mean with good. Like, I think that the moment you like the character you have been doing is still good, right? It depends what your meaning, what your purpose with that. If you're thinking like, oh, I want this character to, to be popular with like the readers or whatever, then you will judge this upon their reaction. So again, like the readers appreciate that characters and feel for it and everything, then uh, and see if you can hear me all well, right? Sorry about this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was gonna say, for a bit, your microphone changed, but we
Yes,
can hear
good.
you now.
My headphone just died. So what I was saying is basically that I do believe like the characters you cannot say for sure, depending on what you are looking for. But again, like again, I'm gonna borrow an experience from Araki, from Jojo, and he was like saying that he created this character and he was happy with the character because was like the character was based, like the main reference for that characters was Goku itself. But he did find out that people didn't react well to Goku, to his kind of trial of quoting Goku, because basically the people didn't recognize that character as really original or really unique. And in that case, like the character, I do believe was like a cool character, and but it didn't work. So we can say more if it's working or it's not working. I won't put it like in a
good or bad. Like, I mean, good or bad, kind of the same of working, not working, but like it's a beautiful character or it's not a beautiful character. So just hoping that that answered the question. Is more if you like the characters, if you believe that makes you, when you see the character, it makes you laugh, or when you see the character, you say, oh, this is really cool. That's, for me, that's a good sign. It means it's working at least for you. It has to work at least for you.
Mm-hmm. And another question from Violeta. Hello from Ukraine. Have you ever had a character that was rejected at work in the world that you created for them, and how did you solve it?
A lot of times, actually. It happens all the time, actually. Especially when when you are not working for yourself, but you're working for a client, or with a studio or anything, you get that quite a lot. I mean, depends on probably what the briefing, like what the request of the client are and everything. But like for me, my experience, like most of the time, they don't give you like a super detailed uh, description. So as we were saying before, like the more information you know, the better and the easier would be to tackle the task, actually. So it happened quite a lot that basically you try to visualize something that sometimes it happens that they change their mind, they see something in your drawings that makes them think about something else, and it's like, oh, you know what, this is cool, but we thought this will be better. So and you would just have to change everything again, just for that reason. So sometimes it's not even I don't want to say, yeah, like your fault, but sometimes there are uh, so many reasons why a design is more like, getting back to the question of before, like when you can tell like that the character is working is when basically, like in this case, like when some client can get back to you and say, oh, this is not working. It's like when you have like those written informations, those information that you want uh, pass by, you want to communicate, and when those information don't pass through, when that communication, it happens to not be received from the audience or from, like, the client, it means you kind of failed in try to put those information into the drawings, into the characters. So sometimes it's that, sometimes it's other reason, not really related to your skills or your what you have been submitted, actually.
Mm-hmm. And here's another question from Rebecca. Besides manga and anime, what else inspires you?
I was, of course, a huge uh, Western animation watcher. Like before getting back to manga, because I was into manga when I was, of course, more of a young kid than a teenager, because I watched a lot of anime. But then I basically, when I was starting studying, I started studying a lot of Western, like Disney, Pixar, all those American huge movie and everything. So I'm really big fan, big lover of those, actually. Especially speaking about, like shape language, and they are like super bold decision. So I do believe there is I mean, like my goal will be to try to make a nice mix of the both. So like that Western bold choices and ideas for shapes, and that silliness, that with the more detailed elements uh, from the Japanese world, so more anatomical and volumetric stuff.
Okay, and this is a funny question from Sebastian Flores. Taking in consideration your last name, have you ever worked with oil painting, traditional art?
I was a yeah, it was a funny one. Uh, Actually, it's even nice because like usually people make jokes about food oil actually, so it's well thought. Thank you. I did a bit when I was like in high school. I did an art high school, so we did like, especially in the last year, we did a bit of oil painting, and as an experience, I have to say it was nice. I quite enjoy. I mean, I enjoy quite a lot doing that actually. Um, Not like a big fan of the strong smell of the product that you have to use to clean the brushes, to because when you use oil colors, you don't use like water. You have to can't remember the name in English. I have no idea how that's called, but like you have like these chemical products that need to work together in order to make everything in the right place on the canvas. So it was quite nice. It was a nice experience, but I never been like the best in cleaning my brushes and just I did prefer way more watercolors actually to that. So like again here, just because I try to multitasking, answering and everything. So it's like I was like watching these references, and these are like chefs, right? So the guy is a chef. So what I can see from all these drawings is that most of them they do have like this kind of a red ribbon, red necklace stuff. So I'm just gonna say, okay, I wanna see these. I wanna take these elements and I will put it to our characters here because he's a chef after all. He's somebody that is in the kitchen. So let's take something from Sanji as well.
A question here from Rachel. What's your best character ever created or feel most proud of?
I will try to play this smartly. I will say the next one. So I will keep myself motivated in the way I was like besides jokes. I read like this from like a manga artist and it was like, oh, this is pretty cool concept. It was like I never watched the manga pages I've been draw. I mean, he finished the pages and then he never watched them again. It was like I don't want to see them because if I see them and I see has a beautiful page, I will lost the willing to do more. It's like I already done something beautiful. I don't want to do anything else. It's like just gonna forget I've done stuff. So I want to do more stuff. That's not exactly the same for me, but it's a cool way of thinking actually. I try to borrow sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And one question from Roberto: how can you tell that the character you drew is 100% original?
This is I see where you have the doubt about. The fact that it's original is because you are making it and you are putting all stuff together from like as I see here, I do have like tons of references, but like the final decision are up to me. Some combination are pretty unique. Some stuff are like especially, and this is interesting, like if you start putting a lot of personal stuff and real stuff as well. So it's like imagine that among these, and I put it here one because I was like thinking about the rival character. So I put Malfoy here. So most of the time you can think about real life people, real life characters. You can choose like from movie actors. You can choose from your people you met, people you really have encountered in your life, and that will make it super original because it will be basically what is original is just a unique combo never thought, never tried. That's for me it's what makes something original. It's like it's like the first time that you have made like this kind of combination of elements in such a way that nobody else can do beside you, because like there's always, because even when like even this character I've been doing here, because it's like, okay, it's Snorlax plus Leorio. Again, it does have like my filter, like the filter of my way of drawing, my way of interpreting some stuff. So in its way, even if it's really close to the references, it's still an original character. I just don't want, people spotting that easily the main references. I hope he answered the question, but like I do feel you, but as again referencing to the Japanese dudes, which are like master of these. Think about really that it's basically more about like adding more stuff to your to your references. So it's not a matter of oh, I want to be original, so I don't look anything, because in this way I will be original. I'm not copying anything. It will be copying the many, the more thing you can to basically become more original. Because it would be like the more stuff you copy from, nobody will spot anything. It will be completely misculated, and it will be mixed, and there will be perfect for you actually. You will have fun because you are most of the time you're like the characters I do have here on the side. I would love if I have draw them, and if I will ever have time, I probably will take my sketchbook and I will drawing them, because it's like great expressions, great poses, great like the great cloth, great proportion, all the stuff that I can probably need. Like here I'm trying to change a bit because I was like looking at Draco Malfoy here, and I was like, okay, let's see if I can add this hairstyle to this actually. So it's like this kind of hair hole going behind. I'm gonna make it like this, and just try to. I would say no, this is the most probably lame common stuff to say, like just have fun with this, but like really seriously, like put together the stuff. This was like on the first stuff we were speaking of, like drawing what you like. In this Japanese book I was reading, it was like draw what you find enjoyable, what you really like. And sometimes this is interesting. Sometimes what we see and what we like to see and what we like to draw, they are not matching perfectly. Sometimes you see something and you say, oh, this is beautiful, amazing. I probably would love to draw this. You copying. By copying that, you will understand if you like to do that, if you like to draw that style, if you like to draw those kind of stuff or not. If while you're doing that, you see, oh, I really love watching this, I don't like drawing this. It's interesting because it makes you more conscious about the choices you want to make, and that will develop your style. Because like, I like this artist, I will never draw like that artist, because that's not what I enjoy drawings actually. If it makes sense to you.
Well, definitely. And with these wise words, we are about to finish our webinar. Thank you so much, Giuseppe, for this amazing webinar. We really enjoyed it. There's a lot of love from the audience who have been watching us live today from all over the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So glad. I'm sorry I couldn't finish the drawing. I was like too ambitious of me. Like, oh, let's talk about everything and draw together. But like, I probably will
No, no
finish.
worries. Unfortunately, our time is limited. Also, sorry if we couldn't reply all of your questions. There were a lot of questions from the audience today. So thank you for being live with us. But before we go, we just want to share one last bit of information. Many of you asked if this webinar is being recorded. Yes, and we'll upload it to our YouTube channel, Clip Studio Paint channel, and also Graphicsly. So subscribe to our channel to get a notification once the webinar is available to watch. Also, if you want to learn more about Clip Studio Paint, visit our website, clipstudio.net/n and graphicsly.com. And to follow Giuseppe's projects and works, don't forget to follow him on Instagram as Giuseppe_Dell'Olio. So once again, thank you so much, Giuseppe.
No problem at all. It was a great pleasure for me. And for anybody else that ask a question that we didn't have time to reply, you can answer. Yeah, sorry, you can type those questions on Instagram. I will try to answer to everybody. Just to make
Thank you
sure.
so much, and Giuseppe. Thank all of you who watch us live, who are watching the recording. So please stay tuned in our social media of Graphicsly for more webinars, event promotions, and tutorials about Clip Studio Paint. So stay tuned, and we hope to see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.